respected dear family members, my pranams to you. Many of us happen to read and understand that when our Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi visited Silicon Valley, some people belonging to Patel family wanted to conduct a procession against his visit. That was on the issue of reservation in the jobs and academic institutes. Leftist and so-called progressive groups wanted to write to academicians against Sri Modi's visit. It appears that 120 people signed a memorandum in which 4 or 5 people from American white community, remaining 115 people leftist oriented so-called progressives from India, and they were taking the initiative for denigrating our Prime Minister and degrading our Prime Minister, and through that pathway denigrating India. I happened to read an article which published in one monthly. This article is written by Minhas Merchant, an American, Minhas Merchant. The title of the article, US Academics Slamming Modi Ahead of Silicon Valley Visit Should Be Ashamed. These US academics who slammed Modi should be ashamed. What these academicians did, you know? They wrote a letter and circulated among all the Silicon Valley company CEOs and MDs. I shall read that letter. And Indians denigrating Indian Prime Minister. A series of examples can be cited when Winston Churchill went to America and said so proudly about the culture of England. Many people asked Winston Churchill, when you are in England, you severely criticize English people and your rulers and intellectuals of UK. But when you come to America, you never even utter a single negative word about UK. Why it is so? Immediately Winston Churchill replied for that. In UK, I have got the freedom to criticize my people. But when I go outside, they are my people. I should never degrade them, denigrate them, standing in outside soil, in other country. In India, when Congress people were declaring that India is Indira, Indira is India, no individual went outside and criticized that. Even Iraqi people will not criticize Saddam Hussein standing in a foreign soil, or even Gaddafi will never get the severe criticism outside Libyan soil, even though he was torturing people. Generally, the condition, the rule is that there may be difference of opinion, difference of vision, difference of viewpoint, but these wretched Indian-born American academicians, I am keeping away the American-born white American academicians. I use the word the wretched Indian-born Indian academicians standing in foreign soil, criticizing their own motherland's rulers for preventing his arrival to Silicon Valley and keeping the CEOs away from uplifting India through creating employment and industrial development. Children of Bharat Mata working against India's development, keeping the point that it is Narendra Modi. And CPM leader Yechuri very critically said before Sri Narendra Modi is leaving to America, why the academicians did so, it should be inquired. Nobody gave reply to Sri Yechuri, but the reply is simple. You always wanted to denigrate Indian culture, Indian values, Indian epics, Indian viewpoint, Indian Vedas, and meritorious Indian people. So naturally, when your followers in India are denigrating India and blocking even computerization, industrialization, development and progress all round blocking, naturally your followers in America can also be expected to doing the same thing. We cannot expect a different thing at all. I shall read a part of the letter given by the Indian-born American so-called intellectual academicians. That is the fourth paragraph. Other three paragraphs are simple and silly, not that serious. But this, the Indian-born American academicians who are leftist-oriented and so-called progressives, they wrote, we acknowledge that Narendra Modi, as Prime Minister of a country that has contributed much to the growth and development of Silicon Valley industries, has the right to visit United States and to seek American business collaboration and partnership with India. However, as educators, I don't know whether there is a word like educator, as educators, we pay particular attention to history. We remind Mr. Modi's audiences of the powerful reasons for him being denied the right to enter the US from 2005 to 2014. Narendra Modi was prevented from entering to US from 2005 to 2014. The American government and the people should remember what was the reason for his not allowing to come to America. For there is still an active case in Indian courts that question his role in the Gujarat violence of 2002 when 1,000 people died. Modi's first year in office as the Prime Minister of India includes well publicized episodes of censorship and harassment of those critical of his policies. Not even a single news or information of censorship has come from India during the first year of his prime ministership, and he has never banned anything censorship, and he has never harassed directly or indirectly. This is created by the Indian-born American academicians. Harassment of those critical of his policies. He banned and restricted many NGOs. Many NGOs taking money from the foreign country, foreign organizations, and working against Indian progress, Indian development in the name of environmental pollution and misappropriating the money. Those people got the acts from Narendra Modi's first year rule and not for others, leading to a constriction of the space of civic engagement. Ongoing violators of religious freedom. No religious freedom has ever been affected. Anything has happened to Muslims or Christians, similar things has happened to Hindus also in India during his rule. And a steady impingement of the independence of the judiciary. In the judiciary, Narendra Modi's government has not touched anything at all. Whatever is done, it was just bringing back 2010 Congress rule passed judgment for selecting the judges in the Supreme Court and High Courts. Not Modi's contribution, it is Congress contribution of 2010. Under Mr. Modi's tenure as Prime Minister, academic freedom is also at risk. Foreign scholars have been denied entry to India to attend international conferences. Such an incident has never happened. Those who want to pump their money for denigrating India, degrading India, looting India, they might have not got the visa to enter and attend the international conference. Others were never denied at all. Daylight lie projected by these wretched, non-patriotic, non-nationalistic Indians working in America, taking their money. And when they have got the freedom of expression to tell anything lie against India, I too have got the freedom to tell anything against them. So I use these words even though it is far lower in the standard. There has been inferences with the governance top Indian universities and academic institutions such as the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, the Indian Institute of Technology and Nalanda University. Nalanda University, a Christian has got the appointment who has got a really award from various institutes, and he was working in Singapore. He was brought and his name is George. He got, when Tata Institute of Fundamental Research is not doing the proper level, proper director has been appointed. When 14 and 15 years the students stay in the hostel of the reputed universities and colleges, they were expected to complete their courses within 2 or 3 years. Instead of completing and vacating the hostel within 2 or 3 years, many leftists and the so-called progressives used their asylum in the hostel of the universities for drinking and doing all political work and continuously using government money, to eat freely using government money, to stay freely using government money, and doing anti-cultural, anti-national activities with the money of government, spending in the hostel and the university for 14 and 15 years. That was stopped directly. Unfortunately, Indian media always used to be in the opposite side, so they never brought the truth about why it has been done, as well as underqualified or incompetent key appointments made in the Indian Council of Historical Research. Indian Council of Historical Research, anything has been done, it is Indian matter. It should not be discussed with American people or Americans in the foreign land. Anywhere anything negative has happened, including what I said earlier. It is Indian matter, Indian freedom, Indian politicians' freedom given by the Constitution of India, and not even a single incident which goes against the Constitution of India has been done. And appointing the qualified people as based on the selection committee, that is the natural rule, that was the natural rule. It is nothing new. If he is not having enough qualification, it is the academicians who has to report it, and removing him will be part of Indian work, not sitting in America crying and weeping and screaming. The Film and Television Institute of India, Film and Television Institute of India has been the breeding center of non-patriotic, anti-Indian people, and the workers and the students stay there for 14 and 15 years without paying money, using government facility and government food. When the students, about 1 dozen students working for leftist organization, stay there and making it a toddy shop or liquor shop, continuing there, that got prevented. That is the reason why such an allegation from Film Institute came. National Book Trust, a proposed bill to bring the Indian Institutes of Management under direct control of government is also worrisome. The Indian institutes should be under government of India. They are doing whatever they think outside India got prevented now. They cannot open their own centers world over and do whatever they wanted to do. That got prevented. Indian institutes doing anything outside India. should be directly under the guidance of Government of India, elected ministry and so on. World over, any university can start their centers outside that particular country after taking the permission of the Ministry of Education in any country. That has been instructed here also. Direct control of government is also worrisome. When you are working in America and taking money from Americans and living there happily, and why you are doing so much against India? Why you are so much worrying about India? Anyway, you are American citizens, and there your own Prime Minister is getting denigrated, for which you are not worried. You are worried so much about Indian institutions. Remember that we Indians are happy here, whether they are Congress, Communist or leftist or rightist. These alarming trends require that we as educators remain vigilant. When you are educators, when you are the citizens of America, and when you are eating the money and the food from America, worry about your country now. Don't too much worry about India. We are here to worry. We are happy to live here. People from outside need not worry too much about India. We know what we have to do. The educators should work where they are doing their work, need not control the outside issues. Remain vigilant not only about modes of e-governance in India, but about the political future of the country. We know that you are always worried about the political future of the country because your own parent organization, Communist Marxist Party of India, has got almost dissolved in Arabian Sea, and no followers are there, and no leaders have got moral or cultural values, and even JNU started getting degraded in as far as the leftist student organization is concerned. Delhi University got wiped out for your chairs, and all over India the so-called Students Federation of India leftist organization, so-called DYFI youth organization, so-called Progressive Writers Association left organization, so-called CPM Communist Marxist Party of India, and their cultural organization started getting the real pinch when people of Indian origin living in India started thinking about India and working for India. Your pain we can understand because the soil under your leg is slowly moving away earlier and now completely moving away, and you are on the verge of falling on the dirt. That is your problem, because you always looked to America for commenting about India. You supported China when China started attacking India. You always opposed Quit India strike and activities for getting Indian freedom, and you stood with China, with Russia and with our oppressors whenever India was on the verge of weeping. So naturally, now in India, Indians started laughing and smiling, so you will be naturally have to weep, and that your weeping did never got any attention from the CEOs of Silicon Valley. Majority of the Facebook people, YouTube people and computer company people, they came directly and listened to the messages, and those who could not come in Silicon Valley, they came to New York or Washington to meet Sri Modi, and Facebook CEO will be coming to Delhi on 28th October, and he will be discussing with the Delhi IITians and also Delhi Town Hall. He will be meeting with the people, and they are in a very good condition. Remember that American academicians born and brought up in America with white skin, they appreciate the good thing without political lenience and an unbiased, non-lenient way. That those Americans supported Sri Narendra Modi when he visited Silicon Valley, and the reception given was so marvelous and fantastic. Now Sri Narendra Modi will be conducting a Indo-African Conference, in which all the 64 African countries are participating. Yechuri, Karat, and Pinarayi Vijayan, and Kodiyeri Balakrishnan, Buddhadev Bhattacharya, whether they are living now or not living, they all know that their role is absolute zero in guiding and directing India, except barking like dogs from morning to evening and instructing government of India that the government of India should follow what this degraded party wanted to do through the rulers. It will not happen. Anyway, dogs will bark, the Indian-born American academicians will bark, India will move forward under the powerful guidance of a patriot, Shri Narendra Modi. Pranams to you. Thank you very much.